A regional airline alliance promises lower fares and easier travel. And in sport, Trinidad and Tobago lose to Panama in an international football friendly. I'm Ricardo Roberts and this is Caribbean in 10 for Thursday, April 19th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Being on the sea, I don't know, it just seems so natural, and yeah, it's so calming when you're out there and it's just you surrounded by water. Yeah, you can have difficult days and scary days, but in the end, it's so nice being out there.
Molly and I sail 49er FX, and it's the women's skiff for the Olympics. For me, it's just the best boat.
One of the reasons we want to hold the independence referendum before the UK exits is precisely because it triggers the whole issue. Scotland is a current member. Scotland would not be leaving. It would be England, and therefore it would be a better legal defence, if you like, for us to be in continuing membership rather than to come out and try and negotiate back in. But I mean, these are legal niceties. The politics.
The real question is, let's assume the Scottish Parliament is going to.
Three regional carriers have launched an integrated travel project that will significantly reduce the cost of travel within the English, Dutch and French-speaking Caribbean. Liat has joined the French-owned Air Antilles and the state-owned St. Martin-based Winair in the Caribsky project. It is funded by Interreg, an European Union initiative that they hope will ultimately foster free movement of people and boost economic growth across the Caribbean. Air Antilles Chief Executive Officer Sergei Sigalnitsky, speaking at the launch of the project on Tuesday, said that under the program, a traveler would be able to purchase a single ticket and travel on any of the three airlines to 32 destinations across the region.
First of all, the customer benefits of this alliance. We will also increase direct links, we will increase connections, we'll increase frequencies for our flights. We will also reduce fares for travel because obviously when you have a single ticket it always costs less than when you have two tickets. Flexibility at airports, which means you don't necessarily have to get your luggage before moving on, etc. And finally, that loyalty program I just mentioned.
Under the Caribsky initiative, the three airlines will have a combined fleet of 25 aircraft and the capacity to move 1.4 million passengers on 70,000 flights annually. The staff complement will be 1,100 and there will be 5 hubs across the region. The Antigua and Barbuda government says it's considering a proposal to transfer a school building to the University of the West Indies to offset its debt to the region's premier tertiary institution. The UWI is owed by all its contributing governments, and last month it suggested that property be used to help cover some of those outstanding obligations. The cabinet in the Twin Island nation says the 5 Islands school building could be used in that regard, but it did not give any further details about that plan, including how much of the debt to the university would be cleared if it was handed over. The matter is expected to be discussed along with other issues when a UWI Council of 9 officials meet with a 9-person Antigua and Barbuda team today. The meeting is expected to bring both sides closer to an agreement on the establishment of a 4th UWI landed campus at 5 Islands. In Trinidad and Tobago, Arab media outlets are reporting that a Trinidadian was among 6 women sentenced to death by an Iraqi court for connections to the Islamic State ISIS. The government in the Twin Island Republic says it's making inquiries into the report even as local Islamists call on them to act speedily. Vashitawari Rupnarain of CNC3 News has the details.
Government is tonight being lobbied to investigate the circumstances involving the sentencing to death of a TNT national by an Iraqi court. The report first surfaced on the news agency Arab News carrying the headline Iraq sentences foreign women to life in prison for joining IS. One line in the article claims that one of the women sentenced to death for joining the Islamic State group is a Trinidadian. The report, reproduced across Arab states and internationally, reads, quote, 2 Russian women, both holding children in their arms, were also sentenced to life in prison at the same hearing, while 5 from Azerbaijan were condemned to death, along with a woman from Trinidad, end quote. We made contact with a journalist out of Baghdad who would only tell us, quote, yes, the report is true. The woman was represented by an advocate attorney, end quote. Our correspondent stressed how difficult it is to access information, even the woman's name. At least 5 other journalists from Baghdad we contacted refused to help us outright. Leader of the Islamic Front in TNT says it's likely the women who traveled to certain parts of the Middle East were not ISIS fighters, but may have accompanied their husbands there. Take the French national Djamila Boutoutau. She's pictured here and was sentenced alongside the Trinidadian woman on Tuesday. She told the court she accompanied her husband, who told her they were going on a holiday. But laws in Iraq are so stringent, courts are empowered to convict people believed to have helped, even if they are not accused of violence.
Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next. Jesus Chuito Gonzalez marked his debut for Panama with a dramatic late winner as Panama edged Trinidad and Tobago 1-0 in their international friendly on Tuesday night. Now, with the contest at the Ato Boldon Stadium appeared headed for a 0-0 stalemate, Gonzalez scored from a close range in the 3rd minute of stoppage time to hand the home side their first defeat in 6 outings since last October. Ruskin Mark of C Sport has the details.
Even more encouraging signs from the Warriors early in the 2nd period. But again, the sharpness in front of goal was lacking and Kevin Goddard failed to react positively to Asia's knock-on. Panama almost punished TNT, who had a man down, but the visitors played on and the cross in the box is headed down nicely by Fajardo, but Fonset had it covered and still it remained goalless. It was end-to-end action now as TNT responded, but substitute Nicholas Dillon ducked out of this one, not fully aware of what was happening around him, and he obviously thought he had support beyond him when there was none, and a great chance went a-begging. Now it was Panama's turn to be wasteful as the ball fell invitingly to the feet of Francisco Palacio, but he snatched at the chance and he flashed the shot wide. He really should have done better from that range. But TNT would have their hearts broken in added-on time as substitute Jesus Gonzalez started a movement out wide to Oscar Villarreal, who controlled it after Curtis Gonzalez missed his interception attempt, and the return ball finds the streaking Gonzalez, who was on spot to finish off his initial play for the only goal of the game. It was a real dagger in the hearts of the TNT players and supporters as the referee Rion Radix of Grenada blew off the match immediately on the restart to add to the disappointment.
That's Caribbean Intent. Good afternoon.